start in just a second. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have all of you here today for our first meeting in October 7th, 2025. Let's all, if you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin our meeting today, I'd like to take a moment of community time to recognize someone who stood for the flag, stood on our behalf of all of us in 3 different wars. And he's passed away. Major Sergeant Howard Griffin, Oldham County resident, was born in Vernon, Alabama in 1927. Many of us know him as Sarge. He had a long and distinguished military career. He received his combat infantry badge during World War II and subsequently received 2 stars for service in the Korean War and the Vietnam War. Master Sergeant Griffin was an expert in tanks. He oversaw the restoration of a World War I tank located at the Patton Museum at Fort Knox. Other duty assignments included as an instructor at Fort Knox, or at West Point, I should say, and as a military advisor to the Shah of Iran. He had tours of duty in Japan, Iran, Germany, and stateside at Fort Knox. Among his many medals, he received the Army Commendation Medal, 3 Purple Hearts, 1 in each war that he fought in, and the Bronze Star, one of the highest military honors there is. In his service records, it notes that Howard Griffin was an exceptional and remarkable non-commissioned officer with an inquisitive mind and uncanny ability to see the need for corrective action, meticulous down to the finest detail, always one step ahead and requiring no supervision. He inspires confidence and has the respect of all of his associates. Howard was married for 63 years to Lillian, and they had 3 children, and Wayne, a businessman, Gary, a lawyer, and Lori, a doctor. He's been in the American Legion here for the last 21 years, and 21 years in Oldham County, and in the Masons for 65 years, Shriners for 60 years. He attended Crestwood Baptist Church for over 50 years. So those of us that know him are sorry to see Howard pass at his age 98. Nevertheless, we're all mortal. We're all going to go. But let's take a moment in our memories to pray for the repose of his soul and thank God for Howard Griffin's service to our country. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask our clerk, Holly Prain, to please call the rolls.
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Here.
Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Magistrate Logsdon.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Are there any, I believe Magistrate Logsdon would like to make a suggestion.
Yes, if it please the court, could we move item number I underneath committee reports and recommendations up above the closed session that's going to happen? We have people out in the audience, and I'm sure don't want to stay here for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
All right, move proposal to close a portion of the right-of-way at the end of Old Coach Road up to after public comment. Let's do that right in that location, and certainly welcome everyone who's come here today. Hope you'll stay for the entire meeting, but the agenda is fairly long, and we don't want to force you to have a forced march, so to speak, through a lot of material that you may not have been prepared to listen to. Are there any other changes? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion approved. Is there a motion to approve our minutes from the last meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Are there any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion, anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now we are going to have a short report from Becky Zockline about our hazardous waste follow-up program. Saturday, we had a big event. Becky has been coordinating this for a number of years, and it was a very big success.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, members of the Fiscal Court. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you also for your mentorship and your assistance to me throughout my years with the county. On Saturday, with the help of OCPD and their excellent traffic control and the road department's use of their facility, we shepherded through 779 vehicles, bringing both electronics and hazardous waste for drop-off and safe disposal. Of those, 366 brought only hazardous materials. 144 brought just electronics, and then 271 brought both electronics and hazardous materials. Those numbers don't quite add up, sorry, but they're close enough. Then when Russ and his crew, a valiant crew, returned to the recycling center, they found about another truckload of materials that had been dropped off there. So they're still working on cleaning up that mess. And so we're encouraging folks to please read our signs and please follow our directions, because all it does is make more work for us, and those materials won't be able to be disposed of until next year. So thank you very much. Thank you, citizens of Oldham County. I appreciate the compliments that I've received, one of which was from the YMCA, thanking us for the advance notice, and especially for that traffic support. The police department did a fantastic job, so thank you.
All right, Becky, a great job. Becky's is about to conclude 12 years with us, and she came in 2013. As 12 years has gone by, she's done a great job managing our solid waste program, recycling program. She's worked with grants through the years to help us get money to do these things. Had kids out in other groups picking up the trash along all of our state highways here in the county. And so you've got 1 week left, but this is probably your last time in front of fiscal court. So
Yes.
Thank you publicly for, on behalf of all of us, everything that you have done. You've done a great job, and we wish you a lot of success. And I don't think it's a secret. She's going to go to California and be with her grandkids. And so that's certainly an admirable and desirable thing to do. So the grass, I hope it's greener, but it'll probably be, they water it more out there, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for everything you've done.
You're welcome.
Now we have a moment for what we call public comment here. If you've come to speak about something else, you don't have to get up and speak, but if you were just to come to speak about something that's not on the agenda or on the agenda, I guess you could say too. Is there anybody here who wants to address the court in public comment? All right.
Good afternoon, Judge and Magistrates. Don Earler, 4005 Old Highway 53, LaGrange. I have three quick things on my agenda today to share with you. On Thursday, the Planning Commission will be considering the new comprehensive plan. It's very long, but I suggest you read it because it will come to fiscal court very soon for your consideration. Also, on the 28th, the Planning Commission will be considering the new data center regulations. I also encourage you to read those because those will be coming to you very soon. None of these documents are short and easy, but we certainly hope that you all will digest them, understand them, and vote favorably on those items coming forth. Also, you passed a moratorium in early July to allow the data center regulations to be written, and we commend you for that action. That time is running out pretty rapidly. I believe the city's moratorium runs out at the end of October, and the county's runs out at the end of November. You may or may not get all of the time you need to consider those regulations, and we would certainly encourage you, if necessary, to extend those moratoriums. The city took that step last night. We hope that the fiscal court would also take the same step if you need the time so that the regulations can be properly considered and adopted by the county. The final thing I have is that about 2 months ago, the fiscal court voted to stop maintenance for Oregon Creek Farms. At that time, I believe there were several of the magistrates that suggested a committee be established to take a look at that problem. To date, I have heard nothing further on that, and I would certainly encourage the court to create that committee. If you need citizens members, I would be happy to serve in that capacity. I've done some study on the particular area out there and the needs, but we ought to at least take a look at that going forward. And I believe Magistrate Logston was one of the ones that suggested that, and maybe Magistrate Tice. But I certainly think a committee would be in order to take a look at that, because there's a lot of Oldham County citizens that live on those roads out there, and we ought to be reactive to their needs. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Anyone else?
Judge, could I respond to that, or just?
Okay, sure.
Just quickly, we are in the process of setting that committee up. Jim Silliman is kind of taking the lead on that. We're working with trying to get some folks lined up. We hope to have that committee be ready to announce here shortly. And so we are moving forward with it. I talked to him yesterday, and so it just takes a little bit of time to get everybody's schedules aligned and whatever. But we are moving forward with that process.
I have a lot of information on that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Barry Laws, 3411 Findlay Mill Road. As Don said, you're going to be looking at the data center regulations coming towards you. They've done a great job. Everybody worked really hard on this. There's a couple items that I'd like you to look into. One is they don't have any setbacks specifically for schools, which is concerning to me. Residential has 1,000-foot setbacks, but if a school were to be built in an industrial area, it literally could have 15 feet setback from a data center property. So something to look at. Put it in your noodle when you're reading through this stuff. The second is on fencing. We think it would be more appropriate, and it was best standards told to us, to have a 500-foot setback for the fencing itself. That keeps it from looking like an institution. So if you imagine driving by a property and seeing a huge building, let's say it is set back, but there's a big fence around it, and it could be not so attractive. If the fence is set back 500 feet, it doesn't affect that data center whatsoever, and it would make it much more appealing to the public. Thank you very much.
Anyone else would like to address the fiscal court?
All right, good afternoon. Amy Alvey, Oldham County Clerk. It may seem a little early for some people, but I'm here to talk about the 2026 elections. We've already started the planning process. We're going to have our first Board of Elections meeting this Thursday at 3:30 with the Oldham County Board of Elections. But on this screen, if they can change that over to the screen so the people in the audience can see it, these are the important dates. So November 5th of 2025, that is the first day that you can file to run for the 2026 election for the primary. The last day to change your political affiliation, so if you want to change what party you are currently registered under, that is December 31st. January 9th at 4 p.m., that is the last day that anyone can file to be a candidate for the May primary. Then we have January 15th. That's always the following week. We do the public drawing for ballot position for the for the primary election. Then we have the other dates there that when the absentee portal opens, your last day to register to vote, when the portal closes for absentee, and then again, we have the set days for excused in-person voting. That's done in my office for 6 days prior to the election, and then the no excuse early voting is May 14th through the 16th, and that will be hopefully approved by my board here soon, but we're planning on doing the same process that we did last election where we have early voting at the John Black Center and Crestwood Baptist Church. And then finally, May 19th, 2026 is the primary election day. So I just wanted to put these out. I will put this on our website, and I will also put it on our Facebook page. If people have questions regarding the process to file to be a candidate, you need to visit the Kentucky Secretary of State's website, which is sos.ky.gov. And then it talks about the requirements to file your financial responsibilities through KREF. That website is kyref.ky.gov. That is a requirement for you to file for election finance registry there. So again, I'm sure you'll be seeing more of me. I've been kind of quiet so far this year with no elections. It's been nice, I won't lie. But we'll have elections for the next 3 years. So I just wanted to make sure people understood important dates that are coming up within the next 7 months here in Oldham County. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, will close the public comment portion of fiscal court and go on to the item that we moved up to after public comment. Pardon? I wanted to do this next item next. The proposal to close a portion of the right-of-way of Old Coach Road. Jim Silliman.
Yes, thank you. Jim Silliman, County Engineer. Go. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of this proposal, and then I believe the applicants who have actually, residents or applicants who are making the proposal, I'm sure will speak, and potentially some others. Okay, so what we're looking at, it's basically this orange highlighted area at the end of the cul-de-sac of Old Coach Road. And you'll see originally when the Glen Meadows Section 1 subdivision was designed, there was the cul-de-sac was designed with appropriate right-of-way, and this additional right-of-way extended from the end of Old Coach Road. Typically that would be done with subdivisions to provide when this adjoining area were later developed, you could have connectivity with the roadway going all the way through. It's just a close-up of that showing that 60-foot right-of-way extending from Old Coach Road to the edge of the platted subdivision. Well, what we saw happen was when Glen Arm Acres, the adjoining subdivision, was developed, it wasn't laid out in such a way that it provided that connectivity. Old Coach Road wasn't designed to extend through. Instead, these lots have access off Old Zering Road. So as such, it's really not necessary for that apparent intended connectivity. These are just some photographs looking from the end of Old Coach Road. This actually came to our attention when a right-of-way encroachment permit was submitted to our office for Lot 6, which again has access off Old Zering Road. They were asking to utilize this area, this right-of-way, to put a driveway through and access the rear of their property. We had also been in contact with the owners of these two lots, 19 or 20, regarding the matter, and they were concerned about potential use of this area, it not being necessary if the owner of Lot 6 had access off Old Zering. So knowing we already had the question about the right-of-way, we did not approve the right-of-way encroachment permit for Lot 6 at the time, and instead wanted to go through this process. So really that's where we are today, is that there's been a proposal to close this portion of right-of-way because, again, the connectivity that we understand it would have been provided for was not designed. If you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to offer what I can.
All right. Do any magistrates have any questions for Mr. Sullivan?
Judge, just the only thing, the road committee.
Road committee look at this and have a recommendation?
We did, we met, I think the 17th, I believe it was.
Well, this actually, some key dates, that's a good point.
Not even.
Let's see. We did notice this in the Oldham era on September 18th, the discussion at today's meeting, and also signs were posted in September 16th. The discussion of this matter at Road Committee would have been probably at the September or earlier meeting, because we planned on coming here several weeks ago, and there was a matter that required we had to put this off. We had to postpone it. But it did go through Road Committee.
But it did go, and we did recommend to send it to fiscal court with a positive recommendation to close this right-of-way.
Okay.
So also as part of KRS 178.070, there's a requirement when we're entertaining the proposal to close right-of-way or roads that there be a committee formed of 3 individuals, one being the county engineer, and then 2 other individuals that don't hold stake in the matter. Those 2 folks were Magistrate Michael Logston and the Planning Commission Vice Chair Katie Nasser. The intent of that committee is to determine what says 2 viewers who have no vested interest in the discontinuance of the road and who together with the county road engineer shall report in writing at the hearing what inconvenience would result from the discontinuance. And I think we all agree that the only inconvenience for this proposed right-of-way closure would be the inconvenience to that lot number 6, but no other public inconvenience. And they actually have current access off Old Zering Road.
Okay. All right, I see we have a number of people here today. Is there someone here who wants to speak against this recommendation? Okay. We ask you to state your name and address, please. And
Mitch McCoy. I'm the owner of Lot 6, and I don't really have a whole lot to say on the matter that I've not already said. It's kind of been a long process, but I did want to say one thing to my neighbors. I bought the property about 1.5 years ago, and I was just told that there was a right-of-way, county right-of-way. It wasn't a deeded right-of-way, and I see the value in the entrance from that, because if you looked at the satellite photo, I have a lot of woods that kind of block a lot of my usable property, and I just thought there was value to it, okay? So I had no idea that there was going to be so much opposition to using it. I was just told at the time of purchase that I had access to it, and I saw value in it. So it's a county right-of-way, and I leave it to you to make the decision on whether or not it's accessible, usable, or not. So that's it.
Right, but you do have access to your property off Old Zaring.
I do, but from Old Zaring, it's a pretty steep driveway, and it kind of levels out. And in one of the documents I provided, I can't remember who I provided it to Jim, maybe, possibly. In the usable part of my lawn, I found a health department document that said that my leach fields to my septic system run right through there. And so as far as like driving over it to possibly go back there and maintenance or whatever, I wasn't really sure if that was even possible. I'd have to get somebody out there to explicitly tell me where that leach field is. But then to the right of that is all woods. It's thick trees. I'd have to clear it out. I'm sure nobody wants me to touch it. So, yeah, I do have access, but it's very wooded on the right side of my property. It's pretty much unusable unless I knock down a bunch of trees, which I really don't want to do. So,
All right,
okay.
thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition to the recommendation? All right, seeing none, Magistrate Jeffries, do you want to make a motion?
Sure it is. Yeah. I'll move that we move forward with this closing of the portion of Old Coach Road that was as discussed at on June 17th meeting, 60-foot right-of-way. And Barry, is there anything that legal language that we need to add to that?
I don't think so. Jim, where'd Jim go? There you are. So he probably needs to cite the statute when he makes the motion, I think. What's the statute number again?
I think it's can you check 178.070 and see if that's correct?
070. 178,070.
070. Okay.
So if you cite pursuant to that statute, Magistrate.
Okay. And I would like to add that language that in support of 178,070 is the supporting statute.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that this portion of Old Coach Road be closed to the public. Magistrate Hawkins.
I've got two questions. Magistrate Jeffries, when I attended the road committee meeting, as I understand it, that was left without a positive recommendation out of there, and that the fiscal court would take it on fully. Did something change to where then the road department did end up positively recommending that to this body?
I don't think so. I'll let Jim address that, but I don't believe so.
I believe you're correct. I think
Okay.
it was forwarded to fiscal court with
Right.
no recommendation, but forwarded.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Okay.
It's been several months ago, so
Okay.
sorry.
That's just how I remembered it. And then, Jim, does this usually require a public meeting or no? Did it last time when we closed that
Yes,
one over?
we've only done this a couple times. One was
Okay.
Tingle Lane several years ago, and this is the process we followed with the notification signs and the public meeting.
Okay, so would the those in favor also have the opportunity to speak, or is that not what we're doing?
Typically, if they would like to.
Typically, okay. Those were my two questions.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess we could have those in favor of it wishing to speak, but I just have a feeling that it's, probably a group.
All you all are in favor of closing? Okay,
Right,
thank you.
right. So, measure die.
Only question I have, Jim, was the owner of Lot 1, was he notified of this closure?
There you go.
All right, I just want to make sure that,
I don't remember ever being officially notified. I was notified by Scott also, who's the neighbor on the lot next to me. Along there, I don't remember a written notice in the mail, but I heard about it, so I've been tracking the process.
okay.
Okay, right. We-
Just want to make sure, I
Point
just
of
want to
order.
make sure you
Can-
know.
Can we get this gentleman to come forward
I
and
know, we
state
don't.
his name
take-
and address for the
If you
record?
like to speak, John, you got to come to the front. We don't accept, we can't pick up on our cameras and microphones comments from the, anywhere other than the front of the room here. Go ahead, John.
John O'Neill, 4220 Glenarm Road in Crestwood, the owner of Lot 1. No, the question was I notified of this? I don't remember ever getting anything officially in the mail from the county. I just heard about it from neighbors who were notified and were interested, and so I'll just add that the reason I'm in favor of closing it, obviously I have the same relationship to that right away as Mr. McCoy. We've been there 25 years. We used to live in Glen Meadows, so we know the history of the subdivision, what was supposed to be there, and what changed then when Glenarm Acres was created. It's not the purpose of that right away, so really, I think just no one ever thought to close it, and I think it would be the appropriate thing. It's been this way for 25 years. It's real nice. Like to keep it that way, and I just don't see the real need to change anything here and put it back to the way it should have been. Any questions?
Right.
Thank you.
You have a question, Manager Woolsey?
My question's for Mr. Silliman. The road committee, when we talked about this, we discussed different options for Lot 6 and Lot 1 to get access to their property. If we were to close that today, what happens to this 60-foot right-of-way? Does it just go back to lots 19 and 20?
Mr. Baxter, I think that's the case, isn't it, that it reverts to the adjoining property
It
owners?
does, yes.
Okay. And is it possible for us to shrink that 60-foot down to just maybe 10 foot to give them access easement into the back of his property? So
Well, you can ask the applicant to confirm, but I think the intent is that they would like to see no access, as they have been maintaining that as their yard. So
That was my
their
recollection.
proposal is to close it completely, not to minimize it.
But Lot 6 still needs to get access back of his property. That is not crossing his,
Well, Lot 6 has access from Old Zering Road currently.
but he has to cross his leach fields. He just told us that he had to cross his leach fields to get up to the north part of his property. And there's a wood line up through there. Is that correct? So are we cutting him off from accessing the back of his property by closing this without crossing his leach lines? And
There's not been access since this was platted in February of '98, so
But he told us in the road committee that he has been going back there using this, if I'm remembering this correct.
there's not been a, there's not,
Sir,
So he has used the right-of-way in the
there's
last year
not
and a
been
half.
an approved road encroachment permit to utilize that I'm aware of. That's
He's using
again,
it as an easement to get into the back of his property.
but even for driveways and accesses to all the properties from county right-of-way, the process is that they would apply for a road encroachment permit for a driveway from my office. We'll review that and approve it if appropriate. That had never been done for that, so there's not an approved driveway.
Okay. What if
the
he
rear.
doesn't need an actual driveway, just needs access into the back of his property?
Any access, we call it a driveway. If it's a way for vehicles to access it, it's a driveway. Again, it's just there's never been an approved one back there.
Would it be appropriate for the homeowners of 19 and 20 to give them some kind of access through that, some kind of easement, just to allow him to
Again,
get access to the back of his property?
The proposal that was made to us, the application was to close the right-of-way. So if you would like to change that, that's up to the applicants.
My concern is I just don't want to leave Lot 6 with no access to the back of his property without crossing his fields and without going through woods to get back there.
Kevin, I don't think he's, he can still access that property, right? I mean,
Crossing his leach fields is what he testified to a little bit ago. So he would have to cross his fields, and then there's wooded area, that's a ditch that runs down through there.
what the proposal is and what came before the road committee was to close this 60-foot easement. And I think that's what we're discussing today. And that's what's on the, that was my motion. And that's what I think that has been advertised or whatever. We can't arbitrarily make those kind of decisions today. I mean, I'm certainly not the attorney, or an attorney, but I think that, we have to follow what we have on the docket today, what has been docketed today and advertised, signs put up and whatever, is to close this 60-foot right-of-way.
Will you scroll down to the street level pictures? Is it on there? Nope, up, right there. So are we looking at the lot 6 where the sunny side is? Right there? That's lot 6?
That would, I believe, be lot 6.
But that's also lot 6. So we're standing on Old Coach Road looking
Right.
through lot 6, across
Yes.
lot 19. So how's he going to access that property right back there without crossing his leach fields and going through that wooded area that you're seeing right there?
I'm going to scroll back to this. I mean, there is a barrier through this hole, if you call it a barrier, of the wooded area. So you're asking how is this accessible?
Yes, without cutting through Old Coach Road to going back to that section.
It's mowed now.
I don't know.
I don't think that's our problem.
It's, I mean,
I mean,
so there are numerous farms and large pieces of property in the county that have streams running through them, and people access them various ways. I think the judge points out that's not what we're looking at. Is the question isn't how this small triangle is accessed. The application was to close this.
It may not be our problem, but we're creating a problem for lot 6, in my opinion. So
Lot 6 can looks like that this other lot, what's the lot?
19.
4220. Is that John's lot? So that's lot, what is 4220? Anyway,
That's lot 1 who spoke earlier.
right, but my point is, if I look at this and the picture that you just showed and the aerial view that I've got pulled up, it looks like that in the past, that whole tree line looked to be the same density all the way across, and looks like that Mr. Onan's come through and cleaned some of that out, so he's got access. And unfortunately, the other gentleman would have to do the same if he wants to get to his property.
And I think the bottom line is this is what was docketed today, and this is what we're considering. My motion was to move forward with this closing of this 60-foot right-of-way. So that's, I think that's what we're considering.
Mr. McCoy, how long have you owned that property?
Since July of last year.
Okay.
You would have a leach field
Right.
underneath a bunch of trees.
Yep, come on.
Okay, but I mean,
This is what I found at the health department.
Judge, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think you all need to make a motion. If you're going to take additional testimony, you need to make a motion to reopen the testimony, because you concluded the public hearing, you've got a motion on the floor, and you all are discussing it. And just as a point of order, and I'm not stopping him from, but somebody needs to make a motion. I'm sure Magistrate Woosley would be glad to do that, to reopen, to allow there to be additional testimony.
Make a motion, we reopen testimony, public hearing for testimony on this matter.
all right, got a motion, is there a second?
Sorry.
All right, I think before he finished, we did hear that, I'll just take a shot in the dark here and say this, you bought that last year. If you have an issue with your neighbors, you don't have an issue with your neighbors, you have an issue with a real estate agent who told you something. You can't always, we've got a couple of real estate agents sitting here, so I won't condemn the industry. I'll just say to trust but verify. I've listened to real estate agents say things that weren't true in the properties that I looked at, and well, there's a right-of-way, but it was not open. It's not open, ma'am. It's not open. It's been, I'm sorry. There's a lot of rough edges that come up in situations like this, and I'm sorry for you, but you do have access from your other property, and I doubt if your leach field covers the entire backyard of your property, I'd be surprised. And I'm not sure you can't drive over it to begin with. That's something that we're jumping to a conclusion here on that we don't need. So, there's a way to get past that, I'm sure. So we got a motion on the floor to close this. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
No.
All right. Motion carries 8-1. Thank you. And I'm sorry that, there's rough edges, but, this is what happens. Jailer Jeff Tyndall is here to talk about something. Those who want to leave, we'll give you, a minute to get out. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Good afternoon, Fiscal Court. Jailer Jeff Tyndall, Oldham County Jail. Last Fiscal Court Finance Committee, I presented a request for a purchase of a new vehicle for jailer operations. Today, I'm just bringing it to formally request approval from the purchase of a new vehicle for Oldham County Jailer's Office. Currently, I'm utilizing my own personal vehicle for all official county business, which creates several concerns. I have a county vehicle ensure reliable transportation for operational needs, emergency response is needed, inmate transports, hospitals, watches, medical runs. Currently utilizing my own personal vehicle increases liability for exposure for both myself and Oldham County in the event of an accident. So today I'm just here to request this and to discuss my fleet that I've currently got at the jail. If you all had any questions, I can answer them.
Judge, this came before the Finance Committee, and at that time, we asked the deputy judge to research the options that were afforded to us, and as you can see in the documents and what the jailer has given us, he's asking for a vehicle. We've priced out what the jailer's asked for and gotten a price from a local dealership.
All right, so you're asking for $57,231 to
Yes, sir.
buy this, and Jeff, is this a transport vehicle?
It will be used for transports, emergency purposes only. We currently have 3 vans and 1 expedition in our fleet. The 3 vans that we have now have a lot of miles and maintenance issues. That's why earlier in the year we requested a few more vans. With those will be here mid-October. Those vans are, and then 1 expedition. But right now, I've noticed that we're using a lot of vehicles, and then we have to have 1 vehicle on site. It's gotten to a point where there's sometimes where we're taking the expedition on transports, and then that leaves a safety concern because there are no vehicles there. Every day that I am there, and I'm on call 24/7, that jailer vehicle will be there.
All right. Manager Woosley.
Would it be appropriate for us to make the motion so that we can discuss this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we allow the jail to purchase a 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe from Bachman Commercial, the amount of $57,231.
Second.
I have a question, sir.
All right, discussion?
Yes, sir. Jailer Tyndall, earlier this summer, we allowed you to purchase a van and a bus.
A van and a bus, yes, sir.
You just said the vans are coming in, but you are not taking possession of the bus now? Is that my
Correct.
understanding?
We, after revisiting that, after the approval, we then started doing more research. CDL license, the cost of CDL license. Everybody on the transport team would have to get CDL license, and it would require even the rider on that bus to have a CDL license. And truthfully, it would have been better just those 2 vans that are coming in mid-October are the supplement from that bus. We're saving money off of that.
The bid that we had was on September 17th. Is this vehicle still available?
Yes, sir. I talked to Bachman this afternoon, and yes, it's still available.
Okay. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Did you get many bids?
I got 3 bids, ma'am.
And this is the lowest?
Yes, by $23,000. Yes, ma'am. The others that was given for the price of an emergency vehicle, it was right at 80,000. One was quoted at 80,000. One was just the dealer said around 80,000. This one's 57,000.
Okay, and it says that the outside is going to be gray. Does that match the rest of the fleet, the
Yeah,
vans that are coming
it
in?
matches. We have white vehicles currently, but we've learned too that the marks, the dirt, everything, whites. It matches the jailer's office. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just not the fleet back in the back.
Understood. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Anyone else? Got a motion on the floor and a second to buy this vehicle. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to ask for the court's indulgence here for just a moment again. I'm looking around the audience and I see the number of people come and are generally here from week to week, or some of our staff. We have Jared Haley and Felicia Harper here from KIPTA today. I'm not exactly sure if you just dropped in to be here today or if you came because of the Community Development Block Grant that we have on the agenda. And I hate to ask you to have to stay to wade through an executive session that may go on for a little bit. Would we mind if we move this up to, we've got item D, C and D here. Kevin, you're here. Do you want to come forward and discuss that with us? And then you're certainly welcome to stay later, but if you didn't want to be tied up, I want to give you that
Make
opportunity.
a motion, we amend the agenda to move C and D up ahead of the executive session.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm not sure which one is which.
We've got the resolution for
CDBG.
Pillar and then the contract for KIPTA.
Okay, so the CDBG grant is a resolution we're asking the court to sign. It is for a grant for Pillar Communities, formerly Apple Patch, to build an apartment residential area over in the Apple Patch area for them. And this is a pass-through grant for us. Basically, we would, if KIPTA is successful in getting the grant, we would front the money for the construction of the building for them, and then we would get the reimbursement through KIPTA.
Right.
So it's a 100% grant?
Yes.
Right. So it's us supporting 100% grant from FEMA for them to do. It's really the groundwork before the building. The building itself will be built with other funds, but
Right.
this is the groundwork for the building. As far as engineering, the whole scope of what goes into before something is actually a shovel put in the ground.
Judge, I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 01100725, resolution authorizing the Oldham County Fiscal Court to apply for a Community Development Block Grant.
Second.
All right. Discussion? Magistrate Hawkins?
We wouldn't start any engineering or anything until they are approved for the grant.
Nothing will
right?
start until the grant's approved.
Okay, and if there's any, what do you call that, Magistrate Likens? Orders, the orders that come later?
Change orders?
Change orders. Would that, I know I should know that by now. Would that be also covered by the grant money?
Once they are awarded, Felicia Harper with KIPTA. So once they are awarded the CDBG, you'll be passing some more resolutions with Fiscal Court and Pillar, where you'll enter into an agreement that all cost overruns will be paid by Pillar.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, just one
Magistrate
question.
Logston?
This is elementary, but the zoning it's the correct zoning, right, for these apartment buildings going in behind there?
I'm pretty sure they've already gone through the process.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Right, it's a residential area. They already have
Ryan saying
housing
they
there.
have.
Right. Magistrate Woosley?
And that's the amount of the grant is $1 million. Do we know what the cost of the building, the apartment's going to be? Is it Ms. Harper, you're supposed to stay up here. Yes.
Stay up here. So they are applying for $850,000 for the Community Development Block Grant. There will be a matching of 20% that Pillar will come up with. We also plan to apply for the grant program, which is through the state for a portion of that match. So that makes their match only 5% of the 20%. The construction, so this grant is just going to cover the site work. I think it's $1.2 million total is what we're coming up with. So that's this grant will just be for that site work. So anything over the $850,000 that they are applying for, Pillar will pay the remaining. The actual construction of the apartment is $23 million, somewhere around there, total project cost.
Okay, you've thrown out a bunch of numbers, but what we have on our resolution is we're applying for a CDBG grant for $1 million.
So that is correct, but I'm sorry, you're correct, $1 million. They just upped it. It was $850,000.
Okay.
So they will be applying for $1 million. They have to have a 20% match of that, but that will mostly be covered through the grant program from the state.
So they're responsible for $200,000, and then they're
Correct.
going to apply for a grant that'll cover 15% of that?
Correct.
Okay. I'm with you there. Thank you.
Sorry.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Just to make sure, and I think I've heard that the court or the county would not be responsible for any funds for the site work or then moving forward on the apartments or whatever. That'll be strictly borne by either KIPTA through this grant or the Pillar.
Yes, so any funds, anything that is not covered in those funds will be covered by Pillar, and you all will enter into an agreement with them.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
In full disclosure, we did put an ad in the Oldham Air that cost us $200 that is not refundable by the grant. The county did bore that expense, but that's our only expense.
Okay.
Well, I think we're very proud to have Pillar in our community. It's a wonderful facility for handicapped people, and certainly anything we can do to help expand their service and provide more benefits and treatment for handicapped individuals is a feather in our hat as far as I'm concerned. So, all right. So we've got a motion and second on the floor to support this grant application. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. And now we have a second one, though. Then go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, so your next item is for a memorandum of understanding with KIPTA. We have the flood mitigation grants that we have historically done in the past. This is for flood year 2021. And even though we're just now in 2025 doing the grants, there was some discussion that even though the court had previously made a motion and approved to do these grants, most of them are down on Riverside Drive, that we were cautious about doing them. We talked to KIPTA, and KIPTA has agreed to administer those grants for us, and that money can come out of the grant. The grant administration can come out of the grant. So instead of us doing them in-house, this will be much more streamlined, and KIPTA just needs an MOU signed for them to be able to administer the grants.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made and seconded to allow KIPTA to administer the new flood grants. I guess 2025, is that the?
2021.
2021. FEMA's.
They're a few years behind.
They're a few years behind, but they're still playing catch up. Okay. Magistrate Woosley.
So if anybody had any claims after 2021, they would not be able to qualify for this.
These grants
So
have already
just-
been applied for, and the court's already accepted. You all, in a previous motion prior, I'm not exactly sure when, might have been in March, prior to me coming back, had already agreed to accept the grant from FEMA.
Okay.
So the people, the sites are already developed and known.
So what you're asking us today is just to approve the MOU to allow KIPTA to manage those grants? Okay.
Yes.
Judge,
Magistrate Howens.
how does this affect our hire that we did a couple of weeks ago?
So Cindy Harbin was hired to replace Becky as far as the FEMA grant portion. She is working in arrears. We have years 17, 18, and 19 that are still ongoing grants, And Cindy's job is to work on closing those grants out. So she's working backwards, and KIPTA will be moving forward with this 21 grant because this is a 36-month grant, and it wasn't Cindy's intention to work on grants moving forward. It was the intention for her to clean up the
Okay.
grants going backwards.
Okay, makes sense. Just FEMA.
Right. All right, motion to have KIP to take care of the 2021 FEMA grants. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right. I do want to thank, Jared, do you have anything you'd like to say today? I don't mean to put you on the spot here. Not everybody may know Jared Haley, our executive director of KIPTA, does a great job for us, and come forward if you would.
Thank you all. It's good to be here today. I've worked with Judge Vogel for many years. He serves as the chair as KIPTA. We've always appreciated the support of Oldham County, and any way we can support the county, please reach out.
All right, thank you. Jared's done a great job, and Felicia too. I think you've got about 80 people there, right? And and our KIPTA provides lots and lots of administrative services in the metropolitan area. So we're happy to shift this responsibility to you because it's you're probably more skilled at it than we want to become. So okay. All right, thank you so much for coming out. Now, let's see if I can find the next thing here. Where are we? Yeah, are we back here? Where is that written in here? That's on the agenda, okay. Now I'd like to recommend that we go into a closed session pursuant to KRS 61.810 subsection 1B regarding discussions concerning the acquisition of real property by a public agency for public use when publicity would likely lead to affecting the value of the specific piece of property, subject to the discussion of county administration. And I'm going to ask Greg Janos and Stan Clark and Kevin Nuss to be in this meeting with the court. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Is there a motion we go back into session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Continue on with our, there was going to be no action taken coming out of the executive session. We'll go on to item number A, payables. Is there a motion to pay the bills here?
Judge, I'll make the motion that we pay the payables.
All right. Any discussion on any of the bills? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Now, item B is emergency public hearing, providing the approval of damage prevention ordinance for a definition issue. Jim Sullivan.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me again. I think it's important to note with this that Oldham County has a robust 32-page flood prevention or flood damage prevention ordinance that it's been in place for many years. That includes building standards for new construction and reconstruction within the 1% flood hazard area. On October 1st, I was notified by our state National Flood Insurance Program, call it NFIP, representative, that aligned with the publication of new FEMA maps, which will be official on October 16th, that there is a single definition within that robust ordinance that we have that is not exactly in concurrence with the definition that FEMA requires. It's very similar, but not exact. And so for our program to continue under FEMA's guidelines, our ordinance needs to match that. So there's this one definition that needs to be updated. Because those maps go into effect on the 16th, we don't have the time frame available to follow the typical ordinance procedure where we would have a first reading, a notification, and a second reading. So the NFIP flood representative had provided information on an emergency ordinance procedure. I asked County Attorney Baxter about that. We discussed it briefly and concurred that it is appropriate. And I think it's also, it's allowable, and it's also appropriate, again, because this is a very small change. I'm going to log into the machine, and I'll bring that change up for everyone's viewing purposes. This is the easiest way to view it because it was provided where it allows us to look at the strike-throughs and with or without, so you can see a clean version. But again, it's a definition of substantial improvement. And another important note is that, one of the items that's stricken is this item C, any alteration, any building that has been damaged from any source or is categorized as repetitive loss. The definition as it's proposed is actually how we manage our review of applications anyway, so it doesn't change our process. So with that, I'm requesting that Oldham County Fiscal Court approve this change to the definition of substantial improvement found within our current flood damage prevention ordinance, so that we are in accordance with current FEMA regulations.
Make that motion,
Judge.
Judge.
I'll move that we approve this flood damage prevention ordinance update that aligns, that talks about here under substantial improvements, the strike-through and the additional language, that we approve that. And if I get a second, I'd like to discuss it just briefly.
We have to have a public hearing before we make a motion.
Well, before you get that far. So CARA 67078, sub 2 says a majority of the fiscal court may declare an emergency to exist by naming and describing the emergency, and thereafter may adopt the county ordinance to address that emergency without regard to the requirements of CARA 67070. 67070 is the one about having a first reading, a second reading, public notice, all that stuff. So we are considering this under 67078. assuming that a majority of the court declares the emergency. So I think maybe you have to have a two-step process
Okay.
here.
Okay.
The first step being that you declare the emergency to exist by naming and describing the emergency, and then we can have the public hearing, and then we can move to adopt the ordinance.
Okay. Judge, if that's okay, I mean, I will move that to.
If you'd like, can I guess better describe the emergency we're discussing?
Sure.
Because again, we don't have time for the October 16th deadline, and failing to meet that October 16th deadline could result in suspension for the community, which would mean, one, no new or renewed flood insurance policies for property owners or renters. Two, no access to federal grants or loans to be used within the 1% chance mapped floodplain. And three, limited disaster assistance for the county and the residents.
And I'd also like to make it part of the record that we're not notified of this until, I believe it was October 1st.
That's correct.
So it's not something like we've had and been sitting on for quite some time or whatever. This is truly, an emergency in order to be able to maintain this funding, correct?
Correct.
So you make the motion that the court declare this emergency, correct?
Yes, sir, I will do that according to what's the status or statute?
67078.
67078.
Okay, it's outlined by Mr. Baxter. I'll move that. It's declared an emergency.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Moved and seconded, this circumstance be declared an emergency to bypass the regular ordinance procedure. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now accept a motion to upgrade our definition to be compliant with FEMA.
Public hearing and then a motion, right?
Need a public hearing?
You do have to have a public hearing, Your Honor.
All right. All right, then I'll open the floor to a public hearing. Is there anybody here who would like to step forward and speak in favor or in opposition of this change to come into compliance with the FEMA definition? All right, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing and go back to the court now. I believe we have do we have a motion now and then a second?
Yes, we do. Kevin made the.
Yeah, I'll
Did we
be
do
glad
that
to.
yet?
I'll be glad to move that we accept this flood prevention ordinance update with the language that was outlined by our county engineer under substantial improvements, the strike-through that we have that was presented to us, that we accept that language as an update on ordinance number 25-360-514.
I'll second that.
All right, moved and seconded, and is there any discussion?
I got one.
Okay, Magistrate Likens.
Yes, I'm reading this, and it says, of a structure taking place during the 5-year period of which cumulative percentage of improvement equals 50% of the market value of the structure.
Yes.
How do you determine that?
So there's two ways.
50%?
And we've been going through this with several applications since the April floods. And I've got one I'm reviewing right now. But we have the applicant, the person whose structure's damaged, provides us with their estimate for the repairs. And then we can either compare that to what the PVA values the structure as, and that's the actual structure, because the PVA will give a land value and an improvements value, so we have to separate the two. And you can either utilize that PVA value, or they can provide an appraisal. And I've received both from applicants.
Okay.
And again, you make a good point. We're looking at, it's 50% of that value. If it's over 50%, it has to meet all current floodplain construction regulations. If it's less, then they can continue with repairs as it is. And that's over a 5-year span that we have to review this.
Yeah.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Under substantial improvements, A, when I was reading the violations part, it sounds like historically it read any project for improvement of a building required to comply with existing health, sanitary, or safety code specifications. So why are we now putting in a violation of state or local health, sanitary, safety code specifications?
I think it serves the same purpose, but again, I've been told that the language has to match what FEMA language is, and the new language is FEMA's language.
Whether it's violation or compliance, you want it to say violation?
I need it to say that to be in
Okay.
compliance.
Okay, and then local code enforcement official. So is this identifying that we have something on record from our code enforcement officer?
Well, again, it already, the previous one noted code enforcement official. They're clarifying local code enforcement official, which would be our Oldham County, I think.
Okay.
But and again, it still addresses the same health, sanitary, and safety code specifications. I think the violations or state and local addition was probably implied to start off with. So it's just more explicitly stating that with this definition.
I don't remember us ever having an official code enforcement document for him to look at other than a nuisance ordinance, right?
There's a
Well,
code enforcement.
it would have to get brought to his attention. I don't think it's something that we're down on the river every day seeking out. But if
Okay.
a health issue were brought to his attention that he needed to address, then this would apply.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, we've got a motion second on the floor to bring our definition here into compliance with the FEMA definition. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much. All right. Now we're at
E.
E. All right, Virtual PSAP Academy contract, Boglass.
Good afternoon. Judge, I'm requesting approval for your signature on a contract with Virtual Academy. The purpose of the contract is to buy 4 licenses that will allow dispatchers to take, let me back that up. Virtual Academy offers several hours worth of curriculum that the dispatchers can get on and do online. It's much more vast than what's offered in the state as of right now. Another positive is that they're on the ground level with the state of Kentucky, and they have 3 to 5 classes that are now recognized by KLEC, and every dispatcher has to take a minimum of 8 hours each year to maintain their dispatch certification. So, it's a benefit if they don't have to drive to Richmond or something like that.
Right.
We're only basically investigating at this point, so we need some administrative accounts and then, 2 other accounts to try it out, essentially.
All right.
Judge, I'll make the motion that we approve you to sign the virtual PSAP Academy contract.
Any discussion here?
I have a question.
Magistrate Woosley.
Mr. Glass, so you're buying 4 licenses. Is your plan to put 1 at each console?
No, sir. So the original plan was 2 for admin. So 1 would be for Greg and the other one, depending on how this transition works out. And then they have to go to a specific dispatcher. So we will select a few dispatchers to try out the product.
Are they IP specific, I guess was my question.
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
so
sir.
you can move
Yeah.
them around. Okay. So they can technically log in from anywhere and do this training, and their training does count toward their 8 hours that they required.
Certain classes, not all the curriculum that they offer applies to KLEC, but yes, they do offer some of those classes.
And you're asking for full access for all their classes?
Yes.
If we did this, would you then, if the trial works, then would the intention be to buy a license for everybody then?
In the end, yes.
Okay. Does this track the licenses, does this track the education piece
Yes, that's
too?
part of the administrative portion. You can get it anytime, print up every, course that they've completed. They can print out certificates at the end of it and so forth.
And they send it to KLEC so that he doesn't have to do it?
I think you should still have to do it.
Actually, in Kentucky, we still would have to do it. They're in the works of trying to, other states are on board and accepting it straight from them, but again, they're on the ground level of that.
Surprise.
Yes, ma'am.
Bo, when I was reading here, of course, it says they own all the intellectual property and stuff. What information will they need from us? Because is it going to be fixed in the hard drive of dispatch? So will they gain access to any information that's in there?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It'd be done from their workstations outside of like our CAD or any.
It's a link, so you go to an external link and click
Yeah,
on
it's
it. So
like
you're going
logging
to
in
their
a
website. We're just getting access
website.
into the website.
Okay,
The
so
only
they
thing they
won't
would
have
need
to
from
put,
us is just login credentials.
they won't come in and put anything into the system, into the hard drives
No, ma'am.
physically?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's like just visiting a website, logging in, and completing the training.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, we've got a motion and second on the floor to go with this academy contract. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're at the Cintas Cellular Fire Alarm System and Monitoring Agreement and Installation Agreement. I think Joe Kelly's going to take this for Stan Clark here today.
So what they need is the jail's having a problem with what you call your POTS line, which is your landline dialing out. So right now when the fire system, something goes off, it may dial out, may not. The way to prevent this is we're going to go with cellular line. And also that cellular line is going to be quite a bit less a month or less a year. I think right now we're like $4,500, $4,800 a year. We're going to go down to about $1,200 something a year.
Okay, and everybody's checked out the safety and reliability of the system.
Yes, sir. We've used it at other buildings when needed.
Okay, great. Is there a motion we change the alarm agreement to Cintas here?
I'll make that motion, Judge. We took it up in committee today and voted to recommend the approval.
Okay. All right. Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Tice, all right. Well, Magistrate Tice did, I guess. I didn't hear it. All right, now discussion. We've got Magistrate Jeffries here.
Just a quick question. And I've talked to Jeff about this, and I think he didn't realize it was coming up today or whatever. I think he's on his way back here. But I was wondering about, I noticed that they're using Starlink for the internet access or whatever. It's like $800 for the antenna and then $250 to install it or whatever. Why are they using Starlink instead of fiber that we have now in Oldham County?
Starlink, we'd have to actually bring Dave Wallace in on that to say why they're using Starlink. I think that's what Centos uses. We could potentially go in and do the fiber, but like I said, we'd have to consult with Dave Wallace on that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just concerned that, if they're concerned about 24/7 access and you're using a satellite-based system, that is, it's more reliable than what HughesNet used to be or whatever. It's a low Earth orbit, but you still, if it's raining hard or it's snowing or whatever, I'm not an expert on that, but I would say you could get some dropouts. So I was just wondering, now that we have fiber all across Oldham County, why that they're not using that as the backbone for their monitoring.
These lines should be still a redundancy line. So the way you also got to look at it too, if our fiber gets hit, we're down, which our fiber has gotten hit less than a month ago. They was doing some work down there. They drilled through from the wrong side of the pole. They hit the fiber. We was down for several hours. So these should be running a redundancy of another line. So you're always going to have a secondary option.
So the secondary option is going to be the fiber or the
secondary option
Starlink?
should be the Starlink.
Okay. Yeah, I was just a little concerned about the equipment. I mean, like say you've got an $800 piece of equipment plus the installation, and then I'm sure there's going to be a yearly or a monthly whatever fee that's attached to access the Starlink service.
Yeah, the yearly monitoring fee should be, like I said, a little bit over $1,200 a year. Obviously, the equipment's going to be a one-time investment. So we're still, with our agreement with them, we would still be less than what we're paying now.
Okay. Yeah, that was my concern. Because, like I say, I don't know about the satellite reliability. I mean, I assume it's, they wouldn't use it if it wasn't reliable.
Correct.
But, okay.
Judge.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, you measure towns.
When I flip through this, are we doing this more than one location? I'm trying to find all the address because there are 27 pages, but it looks like it's the same. It's just for the jail?
The only one is for the jail.
Okay. I don't see on here What I'm familiar with is the device that is inside the building is a version of a modem. We've got installation and the cost of the antenna. Is that a 50-foot antenna that they're going to put up?
That's what I'm being what I'm being told as of today is a 50-foot antenna. And I'm just kind of taking this over last second, obviously.
Right. I mean, when we put a structure like that up, where that is, I mean, we get lightning strikes at the Wave Tower and lightning strikes at the OCD Tower.
Yes.
The only thing I have, and I didn't catch it till just 10 minutes ago, when they're putting a tower up, is it going to have lightning protection?
Like I said, I'm being brought into this last second, so
Okay.
I haven't even actually seen other than the numbers.
And then, typically the modem piece has a 3-year useful life. Is that the same with this product? Or so every 3 years we have to replace the equipment, the dialing equipment?
Like I said, that's something I would need to go back in and look at myself. But I would need some time to go in and talk to Centos.
Judge, can't we do backup with fiber? Is there a way to run fiber twice so it can be backed up twice?
They won't, the systems, they don't allow that to be the same redundancy. It has to be two different things, like cellular and fiber. You could do, that could be your redundancy, but you couldn't do two fibers.
Correct.
Okay, does Jeff have something to say about this here?
So I was listening. So the question is about Centos. Centos has been our fire protection service for a long time. We've been having issues with the phones for the past couple of years. We've tried to get this taken care of through multiple routes, and using this Starlink system is what they suggested, what Centos has suggested to us. And every time there's a problem at the jail with maintenance issues, we will call the maintenance department and Joe will handle it. So this is just their recommendation.
Did they know we had fiber available?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they've worked with us, they've worked with ABS, they know we have fiber.
It's still going to be telephone. I mean, you still have to hook a telephone device into the fiber. On other buildings that I work with, we've gone to all cellular dialers. We've gotten away from the POTS dialers and put the cellular dialers in. In most cases, they just hang an antenna off the side of the building. And if you get 3 bars, then you're good to go. And
Is it always a 50-foot one, though?
No, I've never seen a 50-foot one. I mean, I can't comment on that. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking about cellular. I've never seen one that's been Starlink. Most of the ones I'm familiar with are cellular. And like I said, you hang the antenna off the side of the building, and it works.
The deal with the issue that we've ran into is that when the fire alarm system goes off, the fire alarm company gets a call and 911 dispatch gets a call. So they're with the phone line going down, they don't always get alerted.
If your phone is down, dispatch's phone's going to be down, probably.
No, not all. No, it hasn't always been that way. No, our phone lines, if there's a storm, there's been quite a few times that we have to call and on like our personal cell phones and say our phone lines are down. If you need us, contact us through the cell phones.
Are they IP phones?
Which ones?
Well, I mean, your main phone system, is it?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. The main phone system.
Okay.
It's a county phone. It's a county phone system.
I wonder if there are different options that we could look at that would, that maybe they don't necessarily recommend, but maybe have been used in other facilities that would not require a tower and all the other stuff.
Steph, I don't have that answer. I can research it and get back with you, but we just want, it's for the safety of the jail. And normally when the fire alarm, we've only had one response in the past 7 years to an actual fire at the jail, and it was electric inside the kitchen, where water got inside the electric socket, and we fixed that issue. So we covered up that area. It was an area that was right outside the kitchen and our washroom. So we've covered that outlet up. So I don't know where the issue lies. Centos is aware of it. They come quarterly and do their inspections, and so we're just going on what their suggestions are. They are our fire company, and if they say that this is what we've got to do, we trust their opinion on that.
Measure Woosley.
I don't see a, you mentioned tower. I don't see a tower. It's just an antenna. Is that what you meant, or did you misspoke? I'm looking at you, Ms. Hawkins.
Assault, 50-foot tower.
Tower. I wonder if I could recommend that we table this until maybe we can look into it a little bit further and maybe try to streamline this in a different avenue.
The problem is going to be if Centos is if Centos equipment is in the building today, you're kind of backed up into a corner because you'd have to potentially have to change out equipment to change out monitoring. I mean, they all monitor their own equipment. They don't monitor somebody else's equipment.
Judge.
They may have different options, I wonder. That's what
No.
Jailer said he was going to explore,
Measure Woosley.
or could explore.
I mean Jeffries.
That's
Sorry.
Just a quick question. The system right now is working. I mean, you're not without a system, correct?
Correct. We're not without a system. They were just there last week, and they tell me everything looked good. But it's anytime the weather goes bad. I mean, yesterday and today, something could have happened, but they said they assured me last week that everything was good. We passed our inspections.
Well, to follow up with Magistrate Hawkins, if we waited for the next fiscal court meeting and asked them to come in and at least, explain to you all why, they want to use Starlink and why it's important and what the advantages over, fiber system would be, I think I would be more comfortable doing that. But if the system's not working, then I think we've got to move forward. But if the system is working today, I think maybe we have a little bit of time that we could investigate.
When were they here last week? I mean, they were in.
Is that a second for the table?
Well, I wanted to see what they said
Okay.
as far as.
You had an incident less than a week ago where your system did not dial out.
Correct.
So you really can't say it's going to perform or not.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We did have a system failure last week, and they come out regularly, but we're still going on. I mean, this happened with the fiber, and it's happened with Starlink. How long has Starlink's been in there?
Do you all have Starlink now?
Not yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm just saying we can. This is their suggestion, so I don't know if. I'm just going off the professionals. I can run the jail all day long, but I don't know about the fire, about that aspect of the fire system. I want it fixed.
If we don't go with Centos, their equipment is what likely is inside the building, the smoke alarms and all that equipment. They're monitoring their equipment. So if we don't put Centos back in there, then we potentially would have to replace the equipment that's in the building. And that's likely going to be a more expensive cost than what we're talking about here.
It seems as though they would have options. They're a pretty large company.
I'm going to go back to, I don't see where it got a tower. So can y'all tell me what page? Because on 10 and 23,
Page 10.
Page 10.
it says additional external antenna. But I don't.
50 foot.
There's no tower. It's just an antenna.
Okay, 50-foot antenna.
50
Okay,
foot
so
something.
is the antenna going to be attached to the building, or is it going to be on a separate tower?
If they need to attach to the building, they can attach to the building. I mean, we've got Dish Network that's attached to the building,
Not a
But-
50-foot tower?
But
though?
a 50-foot tower.
Antenna, not a tower.
Correct.
Is that going to interfere with any other communication you got, any other police traffic or anything coming in and out on
I
our
would
radio
have-
system?
I would have to check with dispatch, and, I mean, I don't have that answer today.
A 50-foot antenna is going to cut off a lot around it.
I agree.
So will you follow up with Centos and make sure that's not going to cut out any other traffic coming in and out of that building?
Absolutely.
Okay. Also going to be attached to your building.
Okay. Well, I don't know where, we want to hold off on this and just to have these people come to the next meeting and.
I will
explain.
definitely.
We're not
ask-
talking about much money here, but I guess it's the system.
That system is pretty important system.
Well, yeah, I mean, are we
Yeah,
Starlink or are we fiber? Is that the
Yeah,
point
I'm
we're,
not, I'm
stuck
not worried
on
about
here?
the cost. I mean, I think $800, whatever it is not my concern. It's just, is Starlink reliable, when the weather gets bad and if it's raining and snowing and because it's a satellite signal that it goes to a low Earth or
And
satellite.
Centos is the big company. I will follow up to see if they use any of the other bigger Louisville metros right down the road. I'll see if that's the same system that they're on, and I'll have answers.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's push this off until next meeting.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
guys. I guess we'll table that. We had a motion to table and. we
I'll
had
second it.
Second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, tabled. Now, we got the next thing here.
Joe?
Yes, sir. Joe, you're up for preventive maintenance agreement here.
So we're looking at getting a new preventive maintenance agreement for our buildings. We're currently using Alpha Mechanical. And when I say our buildings, I'm talking about this building, Fiscal Court. I'm talking about the building next door, the Event Center, Animal Control, and the Detention Center, which is broke up into two different buildings, but it's still all one building. I'm recommending we go with Able Services to do our PM contracts and take over. We'll part ways with Alpha Mechanical.
All right.
Judge, we discussed this in our building and maintenance and recommended to the court that we accept Able Services LLC for their maintenance agreement with the county. The total cost is $114,157 a year.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Any discussion on this? Magistrate Hounds?
So a couple things. Why are we leaving Alpha?
Over the past couple of years, I've noticed that we're not necessarily getting the services we should be. I've worked with Alpha Mechanical to try to fix that issue. They've had changeover. Every time they change over a new guy, it's training a new guy. It's walking a new guy through the building. It's making sure the guy that I can walk away from them and I have to stand there with them to make sure we're getting what we pay for. I've been trying really hard for the past year and a half to get that fixed, and I'm not getting that resolution. I'm not getting one guy that knows our buildings that stays with us. So in the long run, it's costing the county more money to keep them than to go with a new company.
Are they going to require changing out of devices?
Nope. It's all they're doing is maintaining the equipment that we've installed in our buildings.
And, I mean, it's $114,000 total and some change. How come we didn't competitively bid that out?
That was done through Omnia, which is OPS is part of Omnia, which is part of Lion. So essentially the bid I put in front of you is state contract pricing. Everything was third-party checked, the numbers, to make sure that the numbers were solid, that we weren't being overcharged, and that we was getting what we was paying for.
Okay.
Magistrate Hawkins?
I was getting ready to ask that same question about the other bids. So with state pricing, this didn't get on the website for it to be bid out at all?
I essentially done it the same way we would do, like if the road department wanted to go purchase a tractor. I can go through Omnia. They say that, hey, this is a high number, low number. And actually the numbers that they showed us, Able Services came in below all those numbers.
Below the state pricing numbers?
Below what Omnia said is a normal number.
Oh, I see. Okay.
By putting it out to bid, if I do it like on Demand Star, it doesn't matter if I write it line by line by line, I'm never going to get apples to apples comparison. And we've done that in the past, and we get the company in here, and then the company says, oh, we forgot, even though it's in your thing, we forgot, and now we want to do a change order. And that has come back to haunt us a few times.
Yeah, we've dealt with the state pricing with things in the Parks Department too, and I'm not convinced the state pricing is the best.
It's not always the best, but so to make sure we're going to get what we're paying for, I've had Abel come in on a few small jobs, and I've had them do the jobs, and I've had them, they communicate well, they diagnose well, they have the parts, they have the manpower. So anytime I can eliminate me having to be tied up or our crew tied up for these people, like I said, with Alpha, I'm having to go behind them at all the time. So this, I can go in there and say, yes, I've seen their work, and I know we're going to get what we're paying for.
Are they local or national? I didn't really look into that part.
There's 3 local guys, I believe, that live in our community. There's there's Able Services, and there's Able Construction. They're sister companies, but
Okay.
and I believe their office is stationed out of Simpsonville.
Okay. That's what Magistrate Dye just said.
Magistrate Dye?
In committee today, there's one thing that I'd like to bring to the court's attention. Is these, if you look at what's on your prepared documents today, there are the $114,157 is broken up into, I believe this was already said, but I'll repeat it. In the detention center, the attached Sally Port is 2 different numbers. Fiscal court building is 1. Animal control is 1. And the church next door, which we call the 1882 building, but I believe if on your documents it'll say the church. Correct. Now, if you look at those documents, each one of them is broken down in a very similar manner. It shows in there the system covers, the type of the plan, and then the emergency service response, and it also has a scope of work. And in the scope of work, it tells Joe and the other maintenance people, and Rodney, that it has dates, times, when they're supposed to do things. And I'm going to use the example of that I use in meeting. I said, so in other words, if they're coming in here and they're supposed to do something on the conduiter valve, and so they say, okay, and they're supposed to change a belt. Okay, well, twice a year was on the conduiter valve. And all this is listed in there. You have to read it line for line. So it's very in depth. Well, he can look up there and he'd say, well, the part went bad because the belt wasn't replaced. So I can ask him or anyone else, show me the scope of work, and then they'll have a document showing when it was done. And of course, then there'll be this other document. It's going to be the invoice for the conduiter valve that they either didn't or didn't perform preventive maintenance. The county, as long as I've been here, has had a very poor track record in preventive maintenance. We look at some of our former buildings that we've tore down, and it would be prime examples. Here, we're going to be fixing something, not necessarily after it's broke, but we're going to get some time out of something that may before was never noticed. I think Joe used an example of sometimes somebody can come up and say, he could say, what about that squeak? And the service tech can say, oh, that's nothing, don't worry about it. Well, something's not supposed to squeak. So the whole point of this is this $114,000 is not a great deal of money if you're going to guarantee the systems are being serviced regularly. Belts are getting changed, filters are getting changed. They're putting actual gauges, which Joe, at his own admission, if you ever see the guy come work on your air conditioner, you got the 3 gauges and the 3 hoses. Well, he can't do that. He's not licensed to do that. They're putting the gauges on there to see that the air conditioner or whatever they're looking at is working properly. So this is a big step forward for us, I think, especially with some of the things that I've seen in the past where there was, and I'm not blaming anybody, I'm not knocking anybody, but the preventive maintenance was lacking at best. So that's my
All
statement
right.
about
The
this.
magistrate like Logston.
Yes. Did we bid this out?
We just had this
You already asked that
This was
I
done
know,
through
but I
state
want-
contract pricing.
Well,
So essentially, it was sent to Omnia, who put it through. They have people who awarded these contracts that their job, their sole job is to say, are we getting gouged? Are we getting a fair price? Where we should be at on this whole scope. I spent about 4 months with going through, finding all the equipment, serial numbers, everything. Everything was put in a long list. We got ready to put it out on Demand Star. Now, anybody who was on the committee remembers when this jail opened, say 8 years ago, roughly, we had bids anywhere from $150,000 down to the lowest bid that we took. And so if I put it out on Demand Star, the same thing's going to happen. I give the same people the exact information, and I'm going to get bids all across. And then they're going to come back to me in a month and say, you know, I know it was in your bid, but this is what you all signed off on, and now we need a change order. So yes, it was essentially put out through like a state contract version.
so when you were in the committee today, you were talking about they were going to give another service for us. Y'all were putting together another proposal.
AOC.
So the AOC will need to come online at some point, but again, in order to award a contract, you either had to put it out to bid or you have to go like we're trying to. So when the AOC comes online, we can't even think about that building until the furniture's in it, because I can't tell you, is that water source heat pump above Judge Crosby's desk that now we have to wait until he's out of that office, or we have to cover that very expensive desk? No mechanical contractor out there will give us a number on that right now until we physically can walk the building and say, hey, this is the amount of hours we're going to need. Because essentially what I'm buying with this contract is I'm buying man hours. I'm buying that guy on the ground. I'm buying his knowledge. I'm buying their equipment. And they're going to say, okay, we're going to come in twice a year. And if you look through the scope of work, everything's broke down. So once the AOC comes online, then we can go back through this same process and we can say, okay, we want Able Services, our preventative maintenance. So I don't have Able, I don't have Walker, I don't have Thompson. I have one person I go to, we have a problem, and say, fix your problem. I need this resolved.
So if something is not covered underneath this list right here, who will do the maintenance on those?
They're only
So
going to do what's
come in,
here.
look at all these things and
So
say,
they're going to do
X,
HVAC.
X,
So
X, X.
if you want to know what they're going to cover, all you got to do is open that list and it's going to tell you everything you're going to do. But if you're talking, like, they're not going to go in there and fix the Vulcan tilt skillet in the kitchen. That's
So
not.
when something breaks, something tears up, you need a part, and it's not covered under here.
Then I have the option to say Abel's going to fix it, or if I don't feel like we're getting a good value and I think that Walker Mechanical is a better value, I'm going to put it out to bid and say, hey, I want 3 prices on this.
So you will put you will get 3 bids when something breaks.
If I don't feel like it's appropriate for the
Yes,
county,
well,
yes.
Right.
So, or, like I said, we can go back this route. But what I'm asking for right now is somebody to come in and start looking at this equipment, putting gauges on it, because essentially the main building that we're worried about is the jail. It never I've got water source heat pumps that have never shut off in that building because you can't. It's a city. You got guys in those cells, women in those cells. I can't shut that stuff down. I've got air handlers that are in that building that have they're shut off maybe once a year. I can't shut down the fresh air of that building because, you know what, the engineer who designed it didn't put a CO2 sensor in that cell. So I can't say we're getting above 4 million parts per whatever. I can't tell you that because I can't see that. So therefore, I'm relying on that equipment's always going to run. I've got, we discussed today about the water heaters. I told you, one water heater goes down. That's $17,000 to replace that water heater right now. So I'm asking for $114 for all these buildings to make sure they're running appropriately. That's the most I can tell you.
It's just for 1 year, too.
It's a 1-year renewal. We can walk away. Right now with Alpha, we're a 30-day and gone. I've already talked to the salesman, told him I'm not happy. He said, you give me a call tomorrow, your all's contract's done.
One more comment, Judge. You were talking about the $114,000 contract earlier. What was the contract that we went with?
That we went with.
The 100 and something back some time ago. You had all these bids. You said we didn't do that. We went down.
No, we went down to about a $13,000 contract for that one building. And so what's happened over the years is I may have said, okay, I've got an air handler. I can tell something's not right. I want you to pull ours from the courthouse. because I need this unit looked at. So kind of rob Peter to pay Paul. So, but like I said, for about the last year and a half, I've been, hey, we got to do something. We got to do something. And we got to do something.
Right. I understand. I understand it perfectly. All right, thank you.
All right, I think we have a motion here. We got a motion and a second on the floor. I think we pretty well aired this out. We're giving Abel an opportunity here. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you all.
One no? All right, motion carries 8-1. Thank you. All right, now we're to H. All right, the recommendation to release, is it J or H?
The resolution.
Oh, H, okay, right there, okay. Well, there's so much on this agenda sheet, I
Right.
can't find the right line. Okay. H, County Road System Resolution, Jim Sullivan.
Yes, thank you. The resolution before you is, it was initially termed when we started working with KIPTA and KYTC. What KIPTA is our regional planning organization, Kentuckiana Planning and Development Agency, and KYTC, our state transportation cabinet. This was termed the Centerline Road Mileage Project, and I think that's important because the intent of this, the work that was done was to accurately establish the mileage of all the roads that the county maintains. So this actually began many years ago. We started working on this before the COVID pandemic. Our staff engineer, Derek Shea, did a lot of work with the road department, met with the incorporated cities within the county to review all the roads that we maintain and they maintain and ensure that they're listed properly with KYTC and KIPTA. It was delayed partially because of the pandemic, but also because KIPTA and KYTC were doing this for all the KIPTA member counties. So Bullitt County, Shelby, all those were having the same thing. Excuse me. At the same time, we were going to, I said we were going to the incorporated cities within the county, and they have already passed, all except LaGrange, have passed resolutions similar to this. The intent with that was to get all the counties that have significantly less mileage than the county to establish their resolutions, make sure we've got their mileage right, their concurrence, and then come and finalize this with the county's resolution. The only reason we don't have City of LaGrange is they actually approved the roads we presented and resolved in January of 2022, but it wasn't done by resolution. They have that resolution now and should pass it, I think, at their next city council meeting. We were talking with Corey Rushnick. So again, it's been a lot of coordination with these agencies and other cities. And the intent's not to bring roads into the county road system or exclude roads. It was to identify what they were and what the actual mileage is, because the state uses that for our funding, for paving funds. There is an Appendix B. When we discussed this at a road committee, there were some questions about the Appendix B on this, which lists roads being eliminated. And when I say the intent of this resolution wasn't to take roads out of the road maintenance system, what that was doing was identifying roads that we don't maintain. Some of them are maintained by Crestwood or LaGrange or one of these other cities, and it was just erroneously listed as county maintained with KIPTA and KYTC. Some of them are small private roads that we identified through the research that we never maintained them. They just needed to get stricken from the list. So anything we didn't maintain stayed that way, and anything we did maintain, we had an accurate mileage of. So my request is that Fiscal Court approve this resolution, approve Judge Vogel to sign this so we can finalize the process, turn this into KIPTA and KYTC, and have an accurate mileage for funding purposes.
Judge?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move that Fiscal Court allow you to sign Resolution 02100725. If I get a second, then I'd like to discuss it just briefly.
Second.
All right, Magistrate Jeffries.
All right, sure. This did come through the road committee, and we did spend quite a bit of time going through it. There was as Jim pointed out, some questions about Appendix 2, but I think once he explained that and in the process, it's not, there's not roads listed on there, private roads that, that were taken off or anything like that. It's just roads that the cities or, other entities maintain and are not part of the county road system. So, this is a pretty straightforward resolution. There's several pages of all the roads listed and the mileage, but I think that's, it'd be a good resource to be able to look at that down the road and, we've got this many miles of roads and, the county's maintaining, or this amount of roads is something that the county's not maintaining. So, it came out of the road committee with a positive recommendation to fiscal court to allow judge to sign this.
Do you have a total on the number of miles?
It's approximately 360 miles, and that really, I think through the process, when we look at there were some roads that we added some mileage that we were shorting on, and some that were vice versa. So we started the process with about 360, and we ended it with 360, but it's an accurate depiction of what each road is now.
Okay, well, explain this to me and tell me where my mistake is. I didn't count the miles, but I found 825 streets.
And there could be, and some of them
How
are
would it
less
be
than
825 streets with fewer number of miles?
because some streets are not a mile long.
Oh,
There's a lot of them that are a lot shorter.
right.
Like
Correct.
Okay.
Like, Commerce Parkway's
All right.
4 miles. Some
Yeah.
others are
All
quarter
right,
mile.
I
Yes.
got you.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're the engineer.
Yeah, I knew I was wrong about something there.
Dixon
Why
is
you're
just
the
a third of a
engineer.
mile.
That's why
but
you're
it's
the
county roads.
engineer.
Yes.
Well, I thought 825 streets is a lot of streets to be taken care of,
It is.
Right. So, anyway. Okay, well, we got a motion and a second on the floor to file this report. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, now, Jim, are you up again here with a couple of erosion control?
This is the Jim show today.
Yeah.
I know. You've exceeded your quota.
Let's see. The first, we have a few erosion control surety release to entertain. The first of those is Eagles Landing. Eagles Landing is located in LaGrange, Kentucky. It's the condominium complex association just opposite. It's across from,
All right.
Eagles Creek Golf Course, sorry. So we've gone through actually back and forth with this developer to ensure that the development was built in accordance with the approved plans and Oldham County subdivision regulations. This one specifically had some drainage, stormwater issues that we had to address with some added measures that weren't shown on the plans. Those have been addressed. They've been inspected. Everything's functioning properly. So I'm asking that Oldham County Fiscal Court approve the release of the surety in the amount of, well, and this is interesting, there's two sureties. We'll say surety number one, it's in the amount of $51,512.50, and that's a bond. I'll ask for release of that one first.
All right.
Make a motion, we release the bond in the amount of $51,512.50 to
I'll second
Eagles
that.
Landing.
Second, to release that. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
There was a second surety, which was a check in the amount of $6,300, and I ask that fiscal court approve the release of that.
Make a motion, we release the amount, a check amount of $6,300 for bonds and Eagles Landing.
I'll second that.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That's a full motion. Okay, next.
Thank you. Next, we have the Bungalows residential subdivision. It's off Clifford Lane in LaGrange. Similarly, that project has been constructed in accordance with Oldham County subdivision regulations and our approved construction plans. It did not have the extenuating drainage issues that we had to address. That was a little bit easier. So I'm asking that fiscal court approve release of the letter of credit in the amount of $33,200.
So move.
Second.
All right. Release the letter of credit for $33,200.
Judge, these all came through the road committee with a
Yeah,
positive
okay.
recommendation.
All right, great.
Are the bungalows completely finished now? They're not, are they?
What's that?
This neighborhood is not completely finished yet, right?
Almost.
And our regulations allow them to release, I believe it's either 70 or 80% completion or 3 years. So they can get a release prior to completion.
Okay, it's more than 80%.
Yeah.
I think it's almost done. Okay.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and lastly, the third erosion control surety release we're looking at is for the Bluegrass Fuel Oil Storage Project at the power plant, also known as Dynegy or formerly known as Dynegy on Commerce Parkway. They had a relatively small project to add fuel storage. That also has been completed in accordance with their plans and our subdivision regulations. So I'm asking the fiscal court release the surety, which was a check in the amount of $35,064.90.
Motion, we release release erosion control surety in the amount of $35,064.90.
Second.
All right. What was that fuel? Is that diesel or oil or what?
Oil.
Oil? Okay. How many gallons?
It's not the
do you know?
diesel that we worked on about 5 or 6 years ago.
I would have to look into more detail. I didn't bring the plans with me of the specifics.
When we built it originally, it was only for natural gas, and then we made a modification when it was sold to Eastern Kentucky, and I believe that was for the diesel backup.
Right. It was because one project we had a project, or they had a project called dual fuel, the second type.
And I think, excuse me, and if I'm wrong,
I believe you're
apologize to
correct.
interrupt.
Do you know how big that storage tank is?
No, sir, I don't.
Big enough to run the generator.
Yeah, right.
If you'd like,
For
I
how
can
long?
get that for you, but I don't have it on me.
For how long?
A
We
period
can
of
ask a
time.
lot of questions here, but, all right, we've got a motion second to let them have their $35,694.90 back. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item here is has to do with our pay scale and job descriptions. Tina Schaaf.
Good afternoon. Before you all today, we have an updated pay scale, which has needed to be updated for a while. Over the last few years, we have taken out some jobs and put them on a step plan, like our law enforcement and dispatch, so they're not going to be listed in this pay scale. So all the other positions that we have in the county are listed. There's about 62 of them. So we went through all of the job descriptions, looked at the grade, looked at the exemption status and the pay. We made sure that each job description was in the correct format and had the required language in there for reasonable accommodations. So the pay scale's been updated, so I'm excited about that. We did add, well, do you want me, I'm just going to go through the job description.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go. So we had 9 total job descriptions. The first 4 were just reworks on the formatting and adding the reasonable accommodations language at the end of it. That would include the assistant road superintendent, the maintenance director, the director of Parks and Rec, and the road superintendent. Also included in those last 2, the Parks and Recreation, we removed the language on maintaining the parks because that's actually happening at the road department now, and we inserted that into the road superintendent responsibilities. So those 4 were really just formatting and adding the reasonable accommodations language to the end of it, saying that we can accommodate anyone, with disabilities to do the essential duties of the job. Then the next 3 were updated when people leave, like Becky's leaving. She looked at the job description and she updated some things for her position, and that she added some bullet points. The 11, 12, and 11 and 12. She recommended the language on, I think, what was it? Basically, that she's the liaison to the Environmental Recycling and Utilities Committee, and when the meetings were, and that their attendance is required for that position. And then also designation as the solid waste coordinator per KRS. So that was put in there. And the last one was Jay's position. He looked at that, and we changed the title to Media's Production Manager, and he updated the equipment and the applications listed under the skills and abilities to reflect the current equipment that he uses for that position. So those were the reworks on the current positions. And then we have, I'm sorry, I think I skipped the administrative assistant, the accounting clerk. So on that position, when we originally adopted that job description, if you look at that, where it says accounts payable before the number 1 there under essential duties, it said assists in accounts payable. So we changed that to she's actually doing accounts payable. And we also changed the reporting relationship as well. So we have that person reporting to the deputy judge and the financial management specialist, which is now a new title for we eliminated the accounting and payroll specialist position and updated. The job is currently held by Jessica. She's taken on some additional responsibilities as far as cash management and let me see what I put here. Cash management, grants management, and the supervisory training responsibilities for this position. I feel like I'm jumping all around, but the reason the accounting administrative assistant and accounting clerk position was changed was to reflect those changes. So
What about Director of Administrative Operations?
That's the next one. That's the new job description. That's going to be, the person is going to coordinate activities for personnel and carrying out the departmental administrative objectives. It's basically the deputy judge position, but it's not with the powers of the deputy judge. So coordinating those activities between departments and the administration.
Is that pay comparable to, sorry, I know we're not in this,
Let me
okay.
make the recommendation, then you can.
Sure.
Judge, I'd like to make a recommendation. We approve the pay scale and revise new job descriptions as sent before us.
All right.
Second.
Second. All right, moved and seconded. Discussion. Magistrate Hawkins.
Did we take the template of the Director of Administrative Operations from anywhere? That pay, that start pay it just seemed higher than what we're kind of used to.
Are you asking?
I'm asking, where did the start pay come from?
I did research on the Department of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Department of Labor, and CAECO has these similar job descriptions, and just researching compensation sites.
So other counties have this type of position?
Yes, different names.
Okay, with these same duties, same starting pay?
Yes.
Okay.
And the duties, yes, for sure.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, any other questions about these changes? All right, I think we have a motion on the floor and a second to accept the pay scale, revised pay scale and job descriptions. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right. All right, now we're at personnel actions, Ms. Schaaf.
For Parks and Rec, we have some new hires, some building monitors, Andrew Hunter and Miranda Music. We would like them to start tomorrow at $11 an hour. That's part-time. Do you want me just to go through them all, Judge, or do you want me to do?
Okay, sure, go through all of them.
All of them?
All right.
All right, then we have, did you say all of them?
Yes.
Okay. So then we had the solid waste and recycling grant coordinator, Caroline Schoenig, at $28.21 per hour, starting tomorrow as well. And then in the judge executive's office, we have a promotion for Bo Glass as the director of administrative operations, $48.29 an hour, effective tomorrow as well. There's a change in status for the deputy judge executive, Kevin Nuss. He's going to go part-time status for up to 20 hours a week, $50 an hour, effective on 10/20. And then for dispatch, we have a promotion for Greg Beck as the interim director for 90 days at $44.95 an hour, effective on 10/8 tomorrow. And then we have a resignation at dispatch for Corey Stein, and that's effective on the 15th of this month.
All
Judge, I'll make the motion that we approve the personnel actions of 10/7/2025.
Second?
Second.
Second, all right. Sorry. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Judge, before we go any further, can we back up to the resolution we did for the county road system? I noticed earlier that it said voice vote required. Did we fulfill that, or did it need to be individual?
I think it was unanimous. Mr. Baxter, do we have to take every name if it was a unanimous decision?
Isn't a voice vote?
It said, it's got it highlighted, voice vote required for this resolution, so wanted to make sure that we met that by
It
just.
doesn't say roll call, right?
It does not say roll call, but I just want to make sure that there's a clarification for the twos.
I don't know. The Roberts Rules guy is sitting right next to you. I mean, what's he
I say
saying?
we met the requirement. It didn't say, it's not listed here as a roll call vote.
Okay, that's all I had. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Now we're at board appointments here. First appointment I'd like to make to the Board of Adjustments and Appeals, Amanda Ross, to fulfill the unexpired term of Charles Turner. This would go on till the first day of January of 28. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. The next item is, let's see here, the Crystal Lake Road Taxing District. Reappoint James Allen for a term to expire 10/10 of 29.
10-1, Judge.
Pardon?
It says 10-1.
10/1, sorry. Okay. 10/1 of 29, all right. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next the Crystal Lake Road Taxing District is till October 1st of 29. This would be for Micah Kane. I'll make that motion or recommendations or a second.
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Third appointment to the Crystal Lake Road Taxing District to continue to October 1st of 29. Carolyn Morose Hunsinger. I'll make that recommendation.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion, okay. Next one, Ambulance Taxing District Board, reappoint Fernanda Bradley for a term to expire on September 19th of 27. I'll make that motion. Pardon?
Motion to approve.
All right, second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 No.
Did we have one no here?
We did.
Okay,
I do have a question about her. I know it.
all right, sure.
Is she also on the library board?
No,
Okay, was she?
no,
Okay.
hasn't been. She's this is a reappointment to, she's been on the ambulance taxing.
I
district
recognize your name. I think she applied for it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
she was never on that board, no. All right, I think we had an approval there, 8-1. Next one, Ambulance Taxing District Board, I'd like to appoint Josh Clubb to fulfill the unexpired term of Dr. Madonna Ringswald. This term would expire on September 4th of next year, 26. I'll make that recommendation. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone
No.
opposed?
No.
All right, how many no's do we have here? You just, are you no on everything over there, or just these?
I'm a no too on that one.
All right, 2 no's, okay. That passes 7-2, thank you. The next one, Planning Commission. I'd like to appoint Alan Hayes to fulfill the unexpired term for Rob Gwynn. That would be on August 8th of 27. I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
Second, all right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Pardon? Sure, did I miss one here? Sorry.
Mr. McGill.
Okay, sorry.
Chris McGill.
All right. And to the Tourism Commission, I'd like to appoint Chris McGill for a term to expire October 7th of 28. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Now we're at the second public comment. Is there anybody here who would like to address the court at this point? Seeing no one, we'll close public comment, go on to the any updates and final announcements from our magistrates. Start, I guess, with Magistrate Logston. All right, Magistrate Dye.
Nothing.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Nothing today, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Magistrate Hounds.
Yes, Judge, just one thing I saw on TV last night where, because of the federal shutdown, that the Meals on Wheels folks are not getting their funding.
Uh-huh.
And I believe that we have a few residents in Oldham County and was wanting if you could investigate if we could do something to make sure that program keeps moving forward and those people get fed.
Right. Right, I will. The state has cut the funding on that. Kevin knows something about it, okay.
I don't know anything. I just want to correct one thing.
I'm
This
sorry.
is not because of the federal shutdown. This is the program has been eliminated, but it has nothing to do with. the
I'm
federal
sorry, I
shutdown.
misspoke.
Yeah,
I
just wanna
misspoke.
Make sure that's clear.
It's a state program, correct? Right. But I do believe
Wow.
that about 11 people were caught up in that in Oldham County, and I think it's certainly a worthy idea. We'll check with Tri-County and find out if how much was involved and if we can do anything for these people.
Thank
So
you,
of all the
Judge.
programs that can get shut down, they shut down Meals on Wheels?
Surprise look?
That's my surprise. I'm not surprised, but
Well, I imagine it's
I'm a little bit
it's a
shocked.
funding issue. It's I don't think they have the money. They just ran out of cash, so they had to
Right.
stop. So I think there was about 900 people in Jefferson County that,
I have a friend
we were
that
pretty lucky with
volunteered.
11, but we don't have.
A friend of mine volunteers with that, and the stories he tells are just phenomenal. I mean, I think it's a great program. And my grandpa used to get it.
Right. Right. Certainly, food is essential for all of us. All right, Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, sir. Just two things. Burn ban was lifted as of October 1st. I think after 5 inches of rain today, that's probably going to continue to be where you can burn. Just ask that you please call dispatch at the 222-0111 to let them know the location of the burn in case somebody calls in a fire. They won't, knock somebody out, knock the fire departments out to investigate. So just, be sure to call them before you set a brush pile on fire. The other thing was the Oldham County Library is rolling out a new service, a home delivery service for folks that have difficult time getting to the library, and just please reach out to them for the details. I don't know that they've actually started that yet, but I think some of the older folks in the county would remember the bookmobiles that we used to have, the blue van that would come around and take books to various parts of the county. I think this is a similar service, and they're going to bring books out to folks that have trouble getting in and out to the librry. So
All right, thank
that's
you.
all I have, Judge.
Oops. All right. All right, we're having them. Preset 3 is our. All right, Magistrate Woosley here.
I think I'm a little offended that I remember the bookmobile, but now I'm considered to be the older folks.
I remember the bookmobile.
Judge, the only thing I've got, October 19th through the 25th is fall break, and we're going to be canceling the Parks Committee meeting that week. So there won't be any Parks Committee meeting on the 20th.
All right.
21st.
Magistrate Tice.
Yes, I'd like to say one thing. Appreciate Kevin Nuss taking care of getting rid of our junkyard in Buckner, where we had all of the wrecked vehicles and confiscated vehicles, and it was an extremely eyesore, and I appreciate that being gone, and I'm sure all the people in District 2, as well as myself, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good job. Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Judge. A little bit too late to announce this, but a haunted hike was at Creasy Mahan Center last Sunday. There were several hundred cars parked everywhere. There were probably 500 plus children there. It's a really nice place that our community should support, and I think we as fiscal court should consider supporting them. It is really a nice park. And I think we have trunk or treat at Oldham County Windemore Park on October the 18th. That's a nice event for kids to go to now. And I'm sure I'll see you all at Oldham County of the Year Awards tonight, and I'm sure the judge will speak a little bit about that.
I know who it is, but I can't tell it, or can't say it, so we'll keep it a surprise here for a few more hours, so. All right, thank you, gentlemen, and madam, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.